All right, so this is the part 2 of the video. I wanted to go over one more option for the essay if you wanted to go kind of the metaphor route. Oh, one more thing before I do that. I did make a video for this unit last year, and you can go on my YouTube channel, and if you look at the one that's from 2012, it won't be exactly the same because I did change some stuff, but I might explain things in a slightly different way that might help you. So you can feel free to look at that unit too. I'll also link that on Edline. All right, so the metaphors for understanding the afterlife. The mom cleaning up a dirty kid before he comes in the house. So imagine you're outside and you've been playing and you're filthy and your mom's like, hey, come on in and eat and it's time to eat. And you run up and she's like, hey, you can't come in the house because you're filthy. Okay, so she's got to like hose you off first and clean you off before you're allowed in the house. That's like purgatory. She's going to let you in. Yeah, she's going to feed you. Yeah, she wants you in. But you just can't come in the house like that. That's kind of like purgatory. You're just not quite ready for the communion of heaven. Yes, you've been saved. Yes, God's letting you in. Yes, you're accepting God's mercy. But you got some purification to do. Hell would be like if you just refused to stay outside and be dirty and hungry and you were just miserable and God or your mom was just like, well, I'm not going to force you to come in, but you can't come in if you're not, willing to accept my cleaning up or my mercy in the case of God. People with no elbows trying to eat. This was actually a warm-up, and you can find this on Edline. It's the one that says a lesson on heaven and hell, so you can read that one on your own. But it reinforces the idea that heaven and hell is, where does it say here? The critical difference. I suddenly understood heaven and hell offer the same circumstances and conditions. The critical differences in the way people treat each other, whether they're virtuous or vicious. Anyway, and then the other metaphor is one, swimming. So let's say you're learning to swim. God is your coach. Yes, he's going to teach you. Heaven would be like you're swimming like Michael Phelps. Hell would be like if you refuse to get in the pool, you're never going to learn. That's not God punishing you because you don't know how to swim. That's just you never learned. Purgatory would be like you're on the team and God's still teaching you. The last metaphor is the difference between 6th graders and 12th graders playing pickup basketball. 6th graders take forever to get organized because this is based on my own experience of working with 6th graders and 12th graders. 6th graders tend to take a long time to get organized. They're more interested in trying to make 3-point shots and half-court shots and kicking the ball around and trying to look cool. And it's a lot harder to get them organized. They end up not having as much fun and not as much time to play. Whereas 12th graders, they're mature enough. They know how to get together, pick a team, and play. And when I was working at a youth center, the 6th graders always ended up with less time to play, not because I was punishing them, but just because they couldn't get themselves together and work together. They were more isolated because they were more selfish, whereas the 12th graders were more selfless and worked together more. They were more virtuous, and so they had more of a communion, and so were able to play for longer. And that wasn't a reward, that was just the way it works. So that's kind of a good metaphor for heaven and hell. All right, so again, you wouldn't have to use all of those if you're going the metaphor route. But you could use some of those to help you understand. Probably the easiest one to use is the lesson from the warm-up that the rabbi shared about the people with the no elbows. All right, well, best of luck.